Tank Davis, Lamont Roach. I think we need to start with that one.
Yeah.
What transpired in that fight was astounding, because you have to remember Tank Davis was a 16-1 favorite going into this fight. Lamont Roach, while a WBA champion, was moving up from 130 pounds, and no one thought he had a chance. And the general demeanor of Tank Davis going into this fight was like, hey man, I'm kind of done with this. I got 3 fights left. I'm going to be done by the end of 2025. I don't really like this sport anymore. Kids, don't do this. Go into...
Ariel Helwani is the latest boxing analyst to critique Gervonta Tank Davis following his controversial fight against Lamont Roach. The Baltimore fighter faced backlash from the boxing community after a contentious draw. In a discussion with Aid Oladipo, Helwani acknowledged the record-breaking numbers from the first fight but stated that the rematch could be PBC's biggest sellout of the year. With many fans now rooting against Davis, the boxing world is eager to see if he can redeem himself or if he will endure another humiliating moment. Helwani emphasized that the draw was a turning point in Davis's career, suggesting it was a form of self-destruction.
And it just was sort of like he was apathetic. Before the fight, he talked about, I'll call someone out and this, that, and the other. Like, it all kind of felt like an afterthought. And then the fight happens, and truth be told, like, the fight wasn't the best fight of all time. It was fine. It wasn't your vintage Tank Davis fight. There wasn't a knockout. There wasn't a knockdown scored by him. It was just sort of fine.
From Roach! And there's a left uppercut that lands for Roach. Davis digs to the body. Oh, and that right, but Davis took off some of the steam of the punch, but still, Roach leaning with right, and he took a knee. He took a knee.
You take a knee like that, that looks like a knockdown. All right? Back up.
That's a generous call from him.
Did he not take a knee?
He took the mouthpiece, took him out.
And that's right. Oh, here comes...
Helwani joined the ranks of boxing fans who believe Davis was fortunate to escape with a draw. He pointed out that Davis's actions in the ring were questionable, highlighting concerns about the sport's integrity. Many argue that Roach was on his way to a historic win until the 9th round's controversial moment. During a skirmish, Davis took a knee and rushed to his corner, an action that should have been ruled a knockdown. However, the referee didn't make the call, allowing Davis to retain his title. Boxing journalist Chris Mannix consulted 3 senior referees, all of whom agreed that Davis's knee should have counted as a knockdown. One even argued that Davis should have been disqualified for receiving an unauthorized face wipe from his corner.
If that was your first time watching Tank, you're probably like, okay, yeah, sort of, I get it. But it kind of speaks to his demeanor going into the fight. Like, it just felt a little bit underwhelming. And then we get to the 9th round, and then it's complete madness, because in the 9th round, you probably have heard by now, the fight is moving along, and it is important to note that Lamont Roach lands a jab or two, and where we want to start the clock.
A boxing insider criticized referee Steve Willis for his handling of the situation, asserting that the moment Davis's cornerman touched him, he should have been disqualified. The expert insisted that if the knockdown had been counted correctly, Roach would have won by either disqualification in round 9 or majority decision.
Four cards. Judge at the ringside, Eric Marlinsky scores it on 115 to 113 in favor of Gervonta Davis. Judges Steve Weisfeld and Glenn Feldman both scored about 114 to 114, even a draw. The decision is a majority draw.
Keith Idek, speaking on the Ariel Helwani show, compared the 9th round incident to Davis's career, suggesting that Davis has a pattern of bending the rules without facing repercussions. He cited Davis's history of unsanctioned timeouts, including an incident during the Hector Luis Garcia fight, where a crowd distraction allowed Davis to take an unofficial break. Current fight result remains under review, and an official ruling may still alter the outcome.
Is up to, debate, but he certainly lands a punch. And then seconds after that punch lands, that jab lands, all of a sudden Tank Davis takes a knee. He quickly takes a knee, and there it is right there. 9th round, 217, he is taking a knee. and he's looking to his corner. And he also, ever so briefly, it appears as though he's almost trying to call time.
On March 1st, Roach delivered a career-best performance against the three-division world champion Davis in New York. The fight, declared a split decision draw, could have gone differently had the 9th-round incident been officiated properly. After receiving a jab from Roach, Davis voluntarily took a knee, but Willis refused to call it a knockdown. Fans and pundits are still in disbelief over the referee's decision, questioning if Roach was unfairly denied victory. Speaking on the Come and Talk to Me podcast, Roach revealed that he tried to contact Davis after the fight, referencing a bet they had made beforehand.
In case you don't know, in boxing, you take a knee, that's considered a knockdown. You cannot call time. And you know what you also can't do? You also can't go to your corner mid-round and ask them to wipe your face. Ask them to do anything. You can't get a swig of water. You can't do this. You cannot do that. But that all happened. And so the referee for this fight is a legendary referee. Steve Willis, you have probably seen him in GIFs.
I called him, but he must have changed his number or something. I didn't get a response, Roach said. I even DM'd him and told him to call me back. A rematch appears imminent, with an official announcement expected soon. Reports suggest the fight will take place in May or June. Meanwhile, the New York State Athletic Commission upheld the result, stating that since the bout continued for over 3 rounds after the controversial call, the referee's decision was final and non-determinative to the outcome.
That kind of big-eyed look. You've definitely seen him. He's a veteran of the fight game. I'm not exactly sure what happened. I'm not suggesting he was in on it. But there was certainly a fumbling in this particular case, because he very briefly starts to count when the knee hits the canvas. Then when Tank goes to the corner and gets his face wiped off, he's like, what's going on? We can't show it because it's PBC, but by now you've probably seen it all over social media.
Davis took a knee in round 9 after a series of Roach's punches landed. Referee Steve Willis initially began counting but stopped at 3 and did not rule it a knockdown. Upon review, the commission acknowledged that the correct call should have been a knockdown, but they defended the referee's discretion in making the decision. They also stated that it was impossible to determine how the final rounds would have played out had the knockdown been called. If it had been ruled correctly, Roach would have won by decision. Instead, Davis retained his title, leaving Roach and his team frustrated but encouraged by the support from the boxing community.
Now you've probably seen it all over social media. Then he stops counting and the fight resumes. That should have been a 10-8 round for Lamont Roach. Or if you scored that a 10-9, then it's a 9-9. Point being, the fight ends in a majority draw. If you look at the scorecards, there they are. You got a 114-114. You got another 114-114.
After the fight, Davis claimed that hair treatment grease got into his eyes, forcing him to take a knee. His corner was also permitted to wipe his eyes during the round, which is against boxing regulations. Despite this, Davis remains one of boxing's top stars, known for analyzing opponents and adjusting his strategy. However, he struggled to find his rhythm against Roach. Meanwhile, Roach gained respect from fans and fellow fighters, with Shakur Stevenson praising his performance and even offering to fight him next. While a Stevenson matchup is intriguing, a Davis-Roach rematch is the fight fans want most, especially given the unresolved controversy.
I know something funny. We was talking in the 12th round, I think the 12th or 11th. We was talking right? But he you ain't gonna win.
Roach, a former amateur rival of Davis, shocked the boxing world by pushing the heavily favored Davis to a disputed draw. The commission admitted that video replay was unavailable due to technical issues at the time. Roach remains the WBA super featherweight champion, ranked number 6 at lightweight by ESPN, while Davis holds the number 1 spot in the division.
I don't like knockouts, I like punishment, you know what I'm saying? And then sometimes things gotta happen to make you get back to where you belong at, you know what I'm saying? And that was a good, skillful.
When Davis versus Roach was first announced, Team Davis showed no signs of concern. Roach, though talented, was considered the smaller fighter. However, the unexpected result turned what was supposed to be a routine win for Davis into one of the biggest rematch events in years. Some analysts argue that Roach was robbed and should have been declared the winner.
To a split decision win for Lamont Roach. He was robbed. The knee hitting the canvas should be a knockdown. The face getting wiped should be a DQ. They didn't use replay apparently, and we're going to talk to Keith Eidick about all this, but there is replay in New York, and a fight that was kind of viewed as an afterthought would now be a gigantic rematch and one of the biggest upsets of the past, 10, 15 years, 16-1 is gigantic.
For the first time in his career, Davis left the ring without an official victory. Backstage, his team, including Barry Hunter, expressed disappointment in the outcome. The rematch is expected to be a high-stakes battle, with Ryan Garcia adding to the excitement by making bold predictions about the fight. Garcia believes Davis underestimated Roach in the first encounter and will be better prepared for the rematch.
It's like skillful. Both of them want to take certain chances. Some of them take chances. You get what I'm saying? We seen. It was like we was on a boat and it was just like this.
The judge's decision, with one scorecard in favor of Davis and two declaring a draw, reflected the fight's competitive nature. However, had the 9th round been properly scored, Roach could have been crowned the new WBA lightweight champion. Now, with the rematch set for the summer, expectations are high. Ryan Garcia shared his thoughts with ES News, predicting a stronger performance from Davis in the second fight. "I got Tank. I think he just thought it would be easier than it was. Now he knows better."
14. And in the middle, you got a 115, 113. Had they scored that round, or scored the knockdown, I should say, all of a sudden that 114, 114 is 114, 113 for Lamont Roach. All of a sudden that second one, Steve Weisfeld, one of the best judges in the sport, is another 114, 113. And all of a sudden that middle one is a 113, 114. But all of a sudden now you're going to from a majority draw to a split decision win.
Many believe Davis deserved to lose, and that referee Steve Willis failed to enforce the rules by not counting the knockdown in round 9. Davis has faced widespread criticism, and the New York State Athletic Commission is reviewing the incident. The failure of the replay system prevented Davis's actions from being properly assessed.
Yeah, you got to give him credit. So.
Hey guys, this is Will. Now what? It is what it is. Going back home, who's going to have the bragging?
Ryan Garcia's prediction has sparked heated debates, adding further intrigue to an already highly anticipated rematch. Fans are eager to see whether Davis can impose his dominance or if Roach will secure redemption and claim the title. If the 9th round knockdown had been called, Roach would have won by majority decision and become a 2-division world champion. Instead, Davis remains undefeated, but the controversy continues to linger.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I really like boxing.
Are you open to immediate rematch?
In my contract, immediate rematch was signed. I signed for the immediate rematch when I signed for the first fight.
Right.
Just in case he lost or just in case it was a draw.
So when you got a rematch clause, how long will you take?
It's up to the A side and when they want to fight. So I'm thinking it's going to be soon. I'm hoping it's going to be soon. Let's say that.
What is soon to you? When you say soon to me, I'm thinking a month.
Tank want a rematch. Let me know now. Do you want to fight Tank again? He said he's going to do a rematch. Do you want to fight Tank
100%.
again?
It's only a matter of time. We're going to fight. We're going to fight again. It's just whenever the fight going to happen.
So it's going to happen?
It's going to happen.
Okay. They say they want it in New York again. Do you want to fight again in the Barclays Center?
I wouldn't mind, but I'd love for it to be in D.C.
Okay.
I'd love for it to be in D.C.
Davis has built his career on athleticism, patience, and knockout power, but on this night, he faced an opponent who refused to back down. While Davis's reputation remains intact, questions about his ability to adapt persist. Roach proved to be a formidable challenger, taking Davis to the limit. If the rematch happens, it will be intriguing to see whether Roach fights with even greater confidence or if Davis adjusts his strategy. Stay tuned for more updates, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for the latest boxing news and analysis.